after doing all this reading and all this research, I was speaking to a business mate, and his mother-in-law was a therapist, and she'd had because part of the problem with therapists is they're really good with theory, but they've got no experience whatsoever. And so here's a whole lot of people trying to tell me how to cope with, they've got no parameters for it. Or they've dealt with combat people, they haven't dealt with sexual abuse people. So it's a different beast, man. It's the same trauma, but there's different ways of getting there. I went up to see this lady, Mona, and she was in South Dakota. I was doing a bodybuilding competition up there at the time. And I went in to see her, and I'm pretty sure she was Satan, and she was going to consume my soul and post it on Facebook, because here I was going to sit down and get all vulnerable and tell her my story, and all the antitrust, paranoia, fear, everything kicks in, So I go up and see this lady. In retrospect, she was, probably 65 and 4 foot tall and grey and cute. So I went up to Mona and I went to see her, and I go in for my first counselling session and I have a chat to her. And she said, okay, she was sitting there, very standard 45-minute session. I had my little jar of M&Ms that they give you to calm you, and I've got all this calming music and everything's calming and smelling calming, very calming. And she's over there and she takes up her therapist position. With the therapist nod. Yes, in glasses and just the therapist nod. So she's over there doing that, and I'm over there with my bowl of M&Ms going, right. And I'm making this conscious decision. I'm either going to lie to her and be out in 15 minutes, or I'm going to tell her the truth and be out of there in 15 minutes, or I'm going to tell her the truth and something's going to come of it and I'm going to do something. So I'm sitting there with this jar of M&Ms, just running my finger around it, thinking, all right, this is my one chance, I'm going to do this. So I go, well, the first memory I had was oral sex at the age of 4. And I just kept on talking, and the buzzer goes off at 45 minutes, and therapist, she goes, keep talking. So talk about, and the Scoutmaster did this, and we go on for another thing. So she comes, buzzer goes off, she, picks up her phone, secretary, can you please cancel my appointments? Goes on, and we're 2 hours into this thing, and I get to the end of it, and she looks at me and she says, John, that is the worst story I've ever heard. Your life is terrible, and I can't possibly help you. Your case is hopeless. I was going to punch this woman, mate. I thought I was going to reel over and just clock her, So I go back to stirring. I've got about 3 left. I go back to stirring my M&Ms. I said, well, the problem with that, Mona, is I've decided you're going to help me. So I don't need you to be perfect, and I don't need you to be my saviour. I just need you to give me tools for my toolbox. Just give me some skills so I can have something to work with. But I saw her the next day and she said, well, listen, first of all, I want to apologise for my lack of professional behaviour. I've never done that. I said, that's all right, love. I said, I think I can help you. I want to help you. And she said, what I want you to do is make an appointment and come back once every 2 weeks, and we'll process things together, and then we'll be able to do it. I said, okay, well, thank you. The problem here is I'm here for 3 weeks, so I'd like to do 2-a-days every day for the next 21 days and just get this done. And she goes, that's impossible. No one can possibly cope with that much. I just remember leaning forward, I said, you don't know me. I said, I will beat this, and I will beat it in the next 21 days, but I need your help. So we managed to negotiate it down to 2-a-days, 3 days a week for 3 weeks. So I'd get up in the morning, I'd go to the gym and train, come and see Mona, go through a session, go back and cry over lunch, then go and do cardio in the afternoon and cry, and go back and see Mona, and then come back and cry some more at the cardio equipment. So it's in South Dakota in winter, and I'd be walking into the gym, sobbing, and my beard would be frozen snot, and I'd be on the cardio, and my life sucks, and go back to see Mona again, and come back in, and it was just 3 weeks like that, mate. And it was just a beating, but I got it done. I collected tools for it, and I was able to process a bunch of stuff and get it out. And Mona is the person, it's the first person who ever, and was probably the greatest compliment I was ever told. She looked at me one day and said, yeah, John, you're the most resilient person I've ever met. And it was the first time that I had hope that I could beat it, you know? It's like, I didn't know what I could be. I knew I was f***ed up. I knew I'd f***ed up my marriage, I'd f***ed up my kids. I knew I was just f***ed up. But now I knew I was resilient. I was resiliently f***ed up. I don't know how that works. You know, I was like mega f***ed up. I don't know what that is, you know, but I was resiliently f***ed up and I could do this. And whatever this was that I needed to do, I could just get this done. If I ran at it, if I got after this thing, then I could beat this thing. Because I knew now what I was fighting against. Because this was the first time someone explained to me what I was having to deal with and gave me some tools to, yeah, up to now, man, it was like climbing in the ring with a heavyweight champion and never having been to a boxing class. It didn't get any less painless after that because I was still climbing in the ring with a heavyweight champion, you know, with gloves on for the first time. But at least I had a chance. I just felt I had a chance.